Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share with you my study with the title of Language Learning Engagement amongst Undergraduates using online mode during the COVID-19 pandemic. These are the topics that I would like to share with you in this presentation. Since March 8, 2020, all the higher education institutions in Malaysia changed from physical teaching and learning to learning from home immediately because of the Movement Control Order or the MCO 1.0. Different platforms were used by the teachers during the learning from home. This study is aimed to study the learners' engagement in online learning from home among the undergraduates during the sudden shift from physical teaching and learning during the MCO 1.0 because of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Wesley and Christensen, engagement enhances students' learning. And Reeve, Jang, Carroll, John, and Bach said that engagement reflects a person's active involvement in a task or activity. And according to Chiow, Ahori, Vita, and Wu, a learner's language engagement is the amount and type of learner's active participation and involvement in a language learning task, and it may describe how active is a learner involved in his or her language learning, and to what extent the goal and the purpose or the expected learning outcomes have driven the physical and mental activity of the learner. Cornell and Melbourne stated that motivation and engagement are separate and independent. Appleton, Christensen, Kim, and Wesley added that by having motivation only is not sufficient for a student to be fully engaged in his or her study. This is because engagement strongly depends on social, environmental, and activities context. Let's have a look at the research methodology. The study is conducted in the Sabah International Campus of University of Malaysia, Sabah as a research site. The research sample of the study comprises of 42 respondents and 5 interviewees. They were the third semester undergraduates and they were learning either English or Mandarin language. 2 research tools were used in the study, the questionnaire and the interview session. Likert scales were used in the Google Form questionnaire to study the undergraduates' language learning engagement in the listening, speaking, reading, and writing skill. The interview sessions were conducted by using Google Meet. The finding of the study showed 6 undergraduates used a smartphone, 11 used a laptop, and 25 of them used 2 devices, that is, smartphone and laptop at the same time during the online language classes. The students were having the obstacles of unable to send their laptop for repairing during the MCO 1.0. It would be an extra expenses for them to send the laptop to the service center for a repair. Some of them were facing problems of poor internet connection at their hometown. The undergraduate students' engagement in their language learning was shown through their efforts of finding effective solutions to overcome obstacles to enable them to attend the online classes. That is, they use a smartphone together with a laptop during the online classes. Learners' engagement in listening skill. The synchronous online language classes were the main platform for the undergraduate students to practice the listening skill of the language they learn. However, it was difficult for the students to differentiate similar sound words, and sometimes they couldn't hear the words clearly during the Mandarin online classes. This happened because of the poor internet connection during the online classes. In addition, the undergraduates practiced their speaking skill during the online classes. The students were also actively engaged in the asynchronous tasks given by the language lecturers, that is, they recorded the material and sent the recording to their language lecturers. The undergraduates were not satisfied with their speaking practice through online mode because they could not speak freely compared to when they were in the physical classes. Furthermore, the inconsistency of internet connection during the class has demotivated their speaking skill learning. The undergraduates read the materials mainly related to their study. The reading activity conducted by the language lecturers was mainly reading of words and phrases, especially the new vocabularies during the online lessons. The undergraduates of Mandarin course needed the guidance of their language lecturers when reading the new vocabularies. The students also did their self-practice of reading during offline learning. The undergraduates practiced the writing skills such as making sentences or writing essay, mainly through offline. This is because more time was needed for the undergraduates to complete the writing task, and they were unable to produce an essay spontaneously during the online language classes. They will email the completed task to the language lecturers for comment or marking. Motivation. The internet connection instability and the challenges of learning the foreign language using online mode made the respondents and interviewees feel anxious before and after the online language classes. However, the language lecturers have motivated the undergraduates in their language learning, being understanding, friendly, and empathetic. And by conducting more fun activities during the online classes has helped the students to learn without much stress and to participate in the class activities actively. As conclusion, the internet connection is the main factor of the success or failure of the teaching and learning of language lessons using online mode during the MCO 1.0 in Malaysia. The findings of the study showed the teaching and learning of languages in online classroom is unable to replace the physical learning classroom. The online classroom is unable to provide an effective platform for students to perform their reading and writing practices. The researcher would like to highlight that language learners need to have extra motivation and commitment to be engaged in the language lessons using online mode than the physical classroom learning. Therefore, the telcos that provide the services of Internet infrastructure play a very important role in solving the unstable Internet connection problem. This may help to relieve the pressure of teaching and learning process in an online language class. These are the references. Thank you.